if I look at this email, the obvious things to pay attention to are highlighted in red here. So it's saying it's coming from Barrett Gallagher, airtelbroadband.in. Okay, fine. Dear sir, madam, I don't really see any major glaring grammaticals in here, but at the bottom, Garrett Gallagher is suddenly with Community Health Systems Inc. and not Airtel Broadband. So just a discrepancy in the consistency of that. And then there's two other flaws in here. I'd be curious to know if anybody can pick out what they are. What I'll call out is the to is just vacant. There's nothing in the to field. So normally you'd see it's to yourself, to your email address, or maybe a few others. It's blank. So that's kind of okay, what's going on here? But additionally, I'm not sure I've ever received an invoice in a Word document format ever, because I'd be pretty happy to go in there and change the amount myself. So old date, yeah. In this case, I think this example is just from then, but just paying attention to, so obviously the discrepancy number one is that the information doesn't match, it's not consistent. It's a Word document as an invoice, and there's nothing in the to body. So yeah, and then the chs.net, like nothing is consistent here. So some pretty glaring ones, but these are the kind of things that it's just a matter of stopping and thinking for a second. So the next one, let's see, what do we have here? A lot of the stuff is redacted on the top. This is a real example, but the things to call out here is the .co. So this kind of goes back to the URL. They had matched it so well that .co actually is kind of hard to pick up on. And this one I think worked on a business, if I recall. It got someone to actually commit to doing a wire transfer. And I would highly recommend, if you don't have Positive Pay set up, please do that. We've done co-presentation with North Shore Bank, and that was one thing that they stressed heavily to make sure that you're protected a little bit if something does go through. But here it was just really the grammaticals, lowercase I, the number 2 weeks next to each other without a space, no capitalization on the next sentence, and then another again lowercase I. So these are things that, you know, should just jump out at you as a sore thumb or as a red flag to say this isn't right. And upon further investigation, look, the domain name isn't actually accurate. This is not who it's supposed to be from. This one was actually really well done. There's no major glaring grammaticals at the time this came through. Back in 2016, this looked very, very similar to a Microsoft email, but based on what we just learned, the @hotmail.com is really the only red flag here. And if that's something that someone isn't paying attention to, if you click on update your account information, it's going to do the thing where it says, great, enter in your credentials, right? And your password, and then you'll do that and nothing will happen perceivably for you on your end, and you'll just go on with your day, but the attacker will have obtained those things and now they can use that to log in elsewhere. So that's kind of what's happening there. And if you look at the domain name at the top, you can tell that this is clearly not a Microsoft website, although the picture looks very similar to what you see on a Microsoft login screen. So these are just things where when you get these things, you just have to put that detective hat on and be a little bit more investigative.